reassuring. Yeah, see, she didn't give a damn. As long as I'm not coming after her, she don't care. So I mentioned riding through rain to get here, but there were some clouds just dumping water, and I rode through one of them that had, I think it was blowing over and it just dumped a nice slice. It was probably a quarter mile that I rode through. But it looks like that was the rain that I've seen out west, a lot of it in Colorado or in the desert, especially in like Arizona. You see it raining and it just kind of hangs there like a curtain. It doesn't fall to the ground because it's so dry, so arid in those parts of the world. There was enough rain up high to drop down below, and then it hit that warmer, drier air and just evaporated. So yeah, I've seen that a lot. That's really interesting to see. It's just this curtain, and that's what I thought I was seeing until I rode through it. But yeah, I'm sitting here watching the sun go down, and it's just a little bit of noise. So we just got through fetching some water in the creek down here, and on the way I saw something that was very disturbing. Well, so mildly disturbing. So that is a bear track, and I don't want to say it's fresh because it was made when this dirt was wet. You could tell that one's even been washed out a little bit. So is that one. So this guy's come through here recently. I don't think today or yesterday, maybe a couple of days, but there's a bear up here, and that's really not even what's concerning. What's concerning is that he's coming by me, and if this is his neighborhood, he's patrolling, and maybe every 3 days he comes through here. I mean, this is not a big bear. This is 150, 200 pounds. So, but it's a bear. And I know there's bears out here because I saw one, a big brown bear up there in the pass coming over from Yellowstone in 2020. I sat there like a dumbass and filmed him. He was 150, 200 yards away. He could have made that distance well before I got back on my bike. So he was just sitting there eating berries from what I remember. Anyway, yeah, so there's a bear out here, at least one. Hope it's the small one. If he comes back, you know, yeah, I don't know. I hope he's got more sense than to mess with me, because when you're out in the woods, it's always good to know your animal tracks. You can tell that's a pretty good sized print. That's not a raccoon. It's a pretty heavy boy, maybe 200 pounds. Looks like he's moving a little faster here. But one of the more dangerous animals out here is the mountain cyclist, and you can see quite a few of them have ridden through here. Very thin prints and almost linear, except this fellow had a problem holding his line. He's probably dead now. He probably rolled out into traffic because he could not hold his line. So here's a first for me this morning. I've never cooked coffee over a fire outside of a firebox. I've cooked a few pots of water over the firebox, but I never thought I could get away with it over a fire. But this little grill is going to help me overcome that this morning. And it's so close to the fire that I figured I'd take my little lid off for a little bit. That helps it get boiling much quicker. But yeah, I'm afraid it might melt it, and I really like that lid. So peace. Been thinking about peace all day long. Finding that peace, finding that just relaxing moment or moments, and just find as much of it as I can, just sitting around a fire watching the animals move. Drinking a whiskey. That's coming up very, very shortly. As soon as I get me some good coals going here, I'm about to pop a whiskey. Woo! Very exciting. I may be running out of opportunities to campfire, so I think what I'm going to do is just cook up the rest of my veggies. I've got some, awesome leftover sausage from last night. I just couldn't eat it all. But also, I've got some zucchini. And I've got some broccoli. And I've got some red bell pepper. So I'm gonna chop up the broccoli and put it in there. My little deer friend, my dear friend Doey, I'm gonna call her. She just walked by earlier. Just standing there, just off the road, same path she went up earlier. But yeah, I'm just too busy to fool with Doey, unfortunately. Funny. I could probably hit that guy with a bow from this distance. Is it 40 yards maybe? I think he heard me that time. He doesn't give a damn though. They don't like people walking up on him, but people just kind of standing around shooting video, not lead. Sorry, I can't stabilize it very well. I'm hand holding the camera and I got it propped up on my top case. Apologies, but it's a pretty good shot. Zoom way the hell out, that's why it's so shaky. So I'm putting a little bit of salt, a lot of salt, in my broccoli, because it's still kind of soupy down in there. And then I'm gonna throw a twist, a curveball here. Throw some of this Longhorn grill seasoning, because this stuff's pretty good. Actually, I think I may like this better than, I don't know why I picked it. I think I was out on the road, and I don't know, 2020 I think is when I picked that up. I was like, yeah, let me throw something else on here. Anyway, I'm gonna cover this back up, wait for my zucchinis, and check back in. All packed up. I reorganized my gear. I'm trying to get rid of this blue bag because it's coming apart. So it's just got just a few things in there, some food and stuff, which was my original intent. The wet stuff, the pointy stuff, and food. And stuff that does not mind or does not matter if it gets wet. So I thought it was a tough bag, but I think it's got too many miles on it. You can see it's got holes coming in the side. I thought it was canvas, but it's really like I don't know, some kind of a rubber, I don't know, plastic. It's crap. So, it was a tool bag. But two awesome days spent in this site. Last night was very mild. I would say it was probably in the low 40s, maybe. The night before, poof, mid 20s. Man, I had frozen shit on the bike when I got up. So, and I knew I woke up about 4 o'clock and I was cold, and it's the first time that I remember being cold in a haven. So last night I popped out and put the underquilt on for my other hammock and slept like a baby. So I'll probably start doing that too, because when it gets cold, the sides of the hammock get cold. You brush up against it with your arm, you start getting cold. Anyway, burned a lot of firewood, and I'm starting to get concerned that I'm running out of time. The further I go west, the deeper I get into summer, the less likely it's going to be that the rangers are going to let me burn wood. So I'm kind of soaking up as much burn time as I can get. Now, if I can get my fat ass inside that little gap right there and maybe push it back, I'll be heading down the road. I was gonna set up the tripod down there and give you a good drive by, but I figured I would do a this is what I'm doing on the way out kind of thing. 91 miles, that's what I've got. At least that's what the bike says. I think it's 83 miles to Jackson, and that's where I'm going. So hopefully I'll make it. Maybe it's less than that, because I think the sign I saw was maybe 15 miles back. So hopefully I can get over the pass at least, maybe roll down the hill. Whoa. When Big Bertha sits down, she sits down, baby. Isn't that beautiful? I'm real pleased with my landscape. It would have been better if I set my hammock up over here maybe, but it was real close to the creek. I mean, not hiking distance, walking distance, like leisurely stroll. Got my dishes washed up, got all the water I could drink, and I still think I'm a little dehydrated. I don't think I was drinking a gallon of water a day, and of course I had that last bottle of whiskey the first night I was here, but last night I just it was water and lemonade. It's 10 o'clock mountain. We're on mountain time now. I wonder why they call it mountain time.